The desecration of a tomb at a cemetery in Lemonal village, the final resting place of Sharon Mae Whylie's father, is a most disrespectful act of vengeance caused by an ongoing land dispute among neighbors in this rural community. The headstone which sits atop the grave has been broken, so too has a tile facade surrounding the burial chamber. The feud over a plot of land centered between the graveyard and an adjacent property involves the wife of Police Commissioner Alan Whylie.
From 2008, I have received that piece of land over there, applied for it, and I got it through PUP government. And 2015, I went and I applied for the title, and I got it then, 2015.
Despite taking ownership of the land via title, the front portion of the parcel which faces the Lemonal Road was occupied by someone else. The rear portion is claimed by Tony Anthony, a retired policeman who returned to the village in the mid-90s.
When I retired from police, I come home because this is my home. And I come home and live, and I was given a piece, a small portion of land to build 2 hog pens. You know, SIF come and wanted to do a project with the villagers. So I choose a piece of place right adjacent to me to build this hog pen, because the area where I live is like overcrowded with fruit trees and whatnot. So I built a hog pen there that SIF granted to us, and my other neighbor, I tell her no problem, come build side of me. We built a hog pen in 2007. And thereafter we get the pigs them. But I've been hearing from since in 2012 or 13, they say, Sharon Whylie say, you are shut down the hog pen there.
That's because, according to Whylie, she had already begun the process of obtaining the required documents to lawfully acquire the piece of property. Ever since then, she has been at odds with her neighbors, and it just so happens that the Anthony family are also her relatives. This morning, things came to a head when several workmen appeared on the scene to erect a barbed wire enclosure.
I decided to fence it because it's one thing over and over. Every time we get the surveyor to put down the pegs, somebody keep moving the pegs. So every time we want to survey the place, we can't find the pegs, and I don't want to get in trouble. So that's why I always go back to the surveyor to come and show me the exact spot, because I don't want to go across in their property.
But Anthony claims that despite the location of the survey peg, she has deliberately ventured onto his land.
In last week, she bring the bulldozer, and he come to my back gate, and he called my name. He said, Biba, where Tony, my wife? My wife said, Tony not there. He said, but I there. He said, make Tony show me where he boundary there. So Biba, because I don't want to push nothing by the place, that the place over there. So my wife show her the boundary, and they push that place. So it's so surprised to me. This morning I was waking with police vehicles, Whylie, Commissioner Whylie vehicle come with surveyor, and surveyor is going over my place. So I tell them, man, I say, man, what want to do? I say, get out of my place. She don't push the place already where he said after she.
Anthony tells News 5 that the land in question was resurveyed and subdivided several years ago under instructions from Area Representative Edmond Castro. The portion under dispute, he says, had been applied for through the Lands Department, and despite the lengthy process, his name appears on the application. He describes the altercation with police this morning.
The police said, no, come close because I will shot you. That's Inspector Zuniga. So, well, I never got no intention to say, go fight with him.
Commissioner Whylie declined comment on record, but said that he has purposely stayed out of the matter. His wife, however, has a right to call the police to ensure that the process is carried out peacefully.
All the time, whenever I bring the surveyor here, when they pick up the mark and they bring the surveyor here, the neighbor always come out sometimes with the long machete. I say, how you kill people out here? Huh? Yeah, Tony Anthony always come out with a long machete. This morning we came here, and the first thing he shouted out was, somebody's going to die out here. Me no want nobody chop off my head because he don't have records already where he chop up people.
Kenroy Reynolds, the village chairman, believes that the issue is the result of residents not following due process by applying for relevant land titles.
Miss Whylie have shown me a piece of paper that showing that she applied for certain piece of land in Lemonal, and with the papers, that's how I know, that's how I count for land. If you have papers, that's how I count. So whosoever have their papers, I ask to please present it and make this fussness stop, because then you know look good for Lemonal. That with the fuss over land, if you have papers, that's for you. If you don't have papers, the land is not yours.
The issue remains unresolved. So too is the case of vandalism involving the defaced tomb.
It looked like someone from over there came across the side concerning that land, come over here and break up my father headstone, the Bible on the top. But it was somebody from over that side. Since I started to push it down and think they came over this side and did that.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.